muted. I am muted, but we're live. We had a bunch of technical issues a while ago, and everything seems to be okay now. I am excited. This is the second to last of our Mom Show series, second installment, thanks to Brunswick. And tonight we have a special guest with us, Letina Mata from Trinidad and Tobago. She is a growth mindset coach. I know, like, some of you are like, what does that mean? We're going to discuss that. And she's going to be giving us some great inspiration, some great information as well, in terms of things that we can apply to ourselves and possibly to our kids as well. But I want to just welcome Letina immediately into studio. Hi, Letina.
Hi.
So I want to just say that we met online. We've never actually met in person.
Correct.
And I would like to think that it is, and I'm gonna take a little bit of I guess some credit from my own growth mindset to say that, I'm gonna put myself out there and try and make connections with wonderful women throughout the Caribbean, and Letina just popped into the radar.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna take the growth mindset.
I agree. I would agree.
So let's get started. Tell us what's the growth mindset? What does that mean? And you are a growth mindset coach, but tell us, like, break it down for us.
Okay, so basically, mindset or growth mindset is the attitude, the beliefs, the behaviors, the way that we perceive and deal with ourselves and our situations, right? So there are two types of mindset. So there's a fixed mindset and then there's the growth mindset. And a fixed mindset is the attitude or the beliefs where you feel as though where you are at right now is all there is to life, or the cards that you were dealt. That is the most and the most extreme that you could be. There's no belief system that you could be better, that you could grow, that you could come out of difficult situations. That's what a fixed mindset is. So of course the growth mindset will be everything on the opposing end, in the space that you believe that you are capable of getting out of difficult situations. You believe that you are able to do difficult things. You believe that there's room for progress and growth. And I mean, it would sound so basic, but a lot of people have different areas of their life where they're in a fixed mindset, where they believe as though they're stuck. They believe as though nothing could change. They believe as though their circumstances are just going to remain like this. So that is what growth mindset is. And we deal with it in every area of our lives. And it's something that I'm super, super passionate about because it transformed my life so much when I realized the power of change and the way I believed and saw things about myself and my circumstances. So
Well,
that's it in a nutshell.
Well, that's my next question. Like, explain your journey to this space. Like, how did you get here?
Well, my journey would have started about 6 years ago without even recognizing. When I became a mom, I just realized that the Latina I was at that time was just not going the type of places that I desired to be now becoming a mother, right? And it took a lot of deep digging and self-discovery and recognizing that I had this really entitled, ungrateful way of functioning, and it just wasn't saving me. It just seemed to be as though there was a block. Like, no matter how hard I tried, how many things I did, how many different jobs I changed, it just seemed to have a block. Something was not moving. And it's when I had that mindset shift, is when I realized, oh wait, this all has to do with me. This is not to do with anybody else. I don't have anybody else to blame but myself for this current situation. And that started probably 2015, I think 2016. And so up until 2017, in 2017, I started to do a lot of self-discovery. And then 2018, I took a deep dive into being coached, getting a coach, doing a lot of personal development workshops, etc.
Right.
And with all of that, I created a journal, and then the journal set the foundation for my business. And then I was like, okay, so what next? And then coaching kept pulling me. And so my love for personal development and mindset, plus I have a background in psychology because my degree is in psychology from school. I
Hmm.
just it just felt organic to be here.
Right.
So that's how we got into the coaching space, especially as it pertains to mindset.
So, okay, so one thing that you had said to me, well, right before you answer that last question, you mentioned that we can have fixed mindsets in different areas of our life, and that stood out to me because I guess in some ways when we hear growth mindset, we think that, yeah, man, when you shift it, everything will shift up, but that's not the case. Like you can
Mhm.
still be fixed in different areas, and that jumped out at me a while ago
Yeah,
when you were saying it. what
yeah.
what was it that kind of woke you up? Because you said that when you had the mindset shift, you started doing all of these things. Was there something that happened that kind of made you?
hmm I think, well, there were a lot of things. I mean, 6 years is a long time, so a lot of things happened in 6 years. But I think what really happened was when I found that I was in a place where I felt like I was in a job space where I felt like as though I didn't know my worth. I felt I had no value, no self-value. I was blaming the co-worker. I was blaming the organization. And I was saying they don't know my worth and they don't know my value, and I'm stuck in this position and I deserve to be paid more because I have a degree, etc., etc. And I think it was in that space that it would have been it would have just been like one of those epiphany moments where I
Yeah.
realized this is not because of where I work. This is what I believe
Mm,
about myself. This is what I believe to be true. This means that I don't even know what values I hold. I don't even know where I'm trying to go. This means that I need to fix something here because I cannot go and change an entire organization. This is not my company. I can't do that. So for me to
mm-hmm.
thrive in here, I need to fix how I saw myself. I need to fix how I show up to the office. I need to fix how I interact with people. I needed to change me so that I could function better in this workspace. And I think that was the shift because I was in that job saying, this is going to be my final job. I have a
Mm-hmm.
daughter. I need to have a secure form of income. I can't be hopping from job to job to job. So when I went
Mm-hmm.
into that workspace, my commitment was to become permanent and stick it through till the end of time, like they teach us to, right? They teach you to go to school, get a degree, get a good job, and you just stay there and get a house and just do everything from that
Right.
space, right? So in there, it was one of the most emotionally toxic places I've ever been in. But at the same time, it was very transformational because I had to realize I have no control over my manager or the system or the culture in that workspace. I had to
Mm-hmm.
fix me. And so that I think it was in that areas where for that time I think I had the shift, and it started with me recognizing that I had to really change I actually wanted to see. Yeah.
So with that said, like it brings me to the next question of how women struggle and how mothers struggle with this mindset or mindset change or shifting from fixed to growth. Or and one thing I think of note to mention is that you can shift from fixed to growth and then shift again, and it's kind of like a continuum. Like you're not gonna go from point A to B and you're done. It's an
Correct.
ongoing journey. Yeah.
It
But
is.
do you find, like, I'm asking, with you because both of us have backgrounds in psychology, but like
Right.
putting on the psychology cap for a second, is it do you think that more or less women struggle with this more than men do?
I know. I personally think it's across the board, definitely, because mindset is something that we all have. Like this is not a men have more mindset than women type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is integral to us being alive. So I think society might see it differently in terms of not see it differently, might respond to it differently. So
Right.
men who do particular things out of having a particular mindset might be looked down upon versus a woman who does something based on her mindset. Society might accept certain things more, but the
Mm-hmm.
struggle doesn't vary to say men struggle more or women struggle more. We all
Right.
struggle. My expertise is in mindset, and it is still a struggle because it's something that you have to work through every single day. And
Mm-hmm.
as we mentioned, certain areas of your life you would be thriving in beautifully, and that is where you have your growth mindset. And then there would be areas in your life where you feel, what's going on here? And there's resistance. And if you look at
Mm-hmm.
it from a different angle, you would notice that you're probably looking at it from a fixed space or from a victimhood mentality. Why is this
Mm-hmm.
happening to me? Why is this so hard? I wish something could be different. And so we all struggle with certain things as it relates to mindset, because it is a self-discovery process in itself too.
Would you say that for okay, so because let me backtrack because my brain is firing all over the place. I'm here like mentally reading your Instagram bio. And guys, please check out Latina on Instagram. You can find her at True Growth Caribbean, and it's scrolling at the bottom. But
Yeah.
you like, at least from what I have garnered, you would like to work with women in terms of helping them to achieve, as you put it, their heart-centered goals, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Now, coming back to
Mhm.
the space of, knowing that, okay, men, neither woman, we all struggle with the mindset and moving from fixed to growth. What are some of the more or less unique struggles that a woman is faced with, and especially mothers are faced with where mindset is concerned?
Definitely confidence. Confidence is a big one, right? As in they believe as though they're not, women especially, they're not enough. They're not good enough. They're not pretty enough. They're not small enough. They're not sexy enough. A lot of confidence things related is a big one. It's been a common theme. I think to a large degree environmentally, or like in terms of family dynamics, women, because of the
Mhm.
way that again we were socialized that we have to stick through certain things for the kids. We need to stick through certain relationships. We need to be in certain situations. We can't go after our heart-centered goals and dreams because um the kids are too small and we need to wait until they are 18, and then we are 50, and then we decide we're now going to go up, like, so it's definitely like environmental factors would affect women in terms of how they were conditioned. So it's
Right.
confidence, that, and letting go of past hurts, letting
Mm.
go of things that happened in the past. It's a big thing that also keeps people back from realizing that, hey, I could be better, I could do more, this could fix, because they're so fixed. Women, from my experience, live in the past a lot, but oh my God, if that happens again, I don't want to try because that failed, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So those three have been common themes since I've
That tends to
started
come
working
up.
with women.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um, I want to just plug your journal right here
of
because
course.
how the True Growth Journal is
Hmm.
wonderful. You guys can find
Yeah,
it on Amazon, by the way,
it
if
is.
you're not in Trinidad. But
Yeah,
and it's beautiful. It's literally very pretty. It's cute. It's
it's
cute as hell.
pretty. Yeah.
And of course, in my opinion, it's definitely, shaped for a woman. So how
Yeah.
does your journal help a woman to kind of achieve or get over those three areas that you were talking about?
Right. So in terms of let's talk confidence, right? So there's a particular aspect in journal that's affirmations, right? That speaks to who you believe you are.
Mm-hmm.
So by women who are in this space where you feel as though you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, like that is a place for women to say, I am beautiful. I am a great mother. I am good enough. I am a powerhouse of a businesswoman. I am worthy, whatever affirmations that they need or you need as a woman to basically reprogram the mind so that you could start showing up in a particular way. Just your journal is absolutely transformational. It helped me before that book was even a publicized thing, and it was just a system that I was using. Consistency and commitment was a big thing that I struggled with. And for
Mm-hmm.
months, I would write, I am consistent and committed. I am consistent and committed. And I would write that in my, well, it was a regular notebook every
Mm-hmm.
single day. And then I just noticed, but wait, I'm sticking through this. Wait, I'm doing this. And so and now I would actually, I am brave and confident and sure enough to say that I am a consistent and committed person. And 2 years ago, I could never say that. I could have never come out of my mouth. So changing your belief system in terms of your confidence, it definitely helps with that. Your situations, in terms of coming out of the situation, there's the element for goal setting as well. So when you
Mm-hmm.
write your goals down, it becomes clear that this is a possibility, that I could actually achieve this. So it does help for those three elements that we spoke about. The Just Read Journal is a very concise tool. It's my baby of True Growth Caribbean, and it
Mm-hmm.
really does help in terms of mindset shifts.
So you mentioned affirmations, and it's like the perfect time to just go into this question because in your last blog on your website, you talk about
Right.
basically how you can use affirmations during a crisis, which we're
Right.
experiencing.
Right.
But one of the things that jumped out at me in the actual blog was when you said that affirmations can be negative or positive. And many times, because it's a buzzword, do you do affirmations? It's all this kind of positive, but generally speaking, we repeat negative affirmations on a daily basis. And one of the things
Correct.
that you had written in the blog as well was that the statement becomes your new belief or truth. So if you keep saying negative stuff to yourself, you're going to believe it. So I want
Correct.
to talk about affirmations. Like how does it actually work? How do they shift? How do your thoughts then become reality?
Right. So basically, any phrase, right? So affirmation is a declaration, is a statement. It is you saying that this is something. This is the truth. This is what you believe to be true. That is what an affirmation is. That's why I said affirmation could be good or bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so thoughts become things. So if you make the statement, I am, it is a declaration, and it means that you are declaring that this is true, that you believe this to be so. So if somebody has been constantly repeating negative things to themselves for a long period of time, I am not good, I don't belong here, I am too poor, I like just anything negative,
Right.
because you say that so much at a subconscious level, that becomes true. And the way that
Mm-hmm.
our mind, our subconscious functions is that it's going to ensure that everything that we say and do is going to reflect in our reality,
Mm-hmm.
because that is how it's going to ensure that we feel as though we make sense, as though we have that level of control, as though things are
Right.
congruent. Because I can't say I am poor and then $1 million drop in my lap. I'm going to be like, what to do? And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
completely malfunction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to ensure that whatever you declare is true literally shows up in our reality. So for
Mm-hmm.
affirmation to work, we need to shift, well, a positive affirmation, we need to shift the stories, the I am stories. It needs to go from I am not good enough to I am good enough just as I am, or I am
Mm-hmm.
worthy, or whatever the situation is, or I am, or money comes to me easily, money comes to me with ease and in abundance. It is, and of course, it's not a one off thing. For you to
Right.
create those beliefs, you didn't just say the statement one time. You had been saying those negative statements for a long period of time. So it became
Mm-hmm.
your truth. So, in order for you to have those positive affirmations, you need to reframe those statements, right? So that your subconscious mind would start to believe you now. And your subconscious mind will start to bring things into reality that matches the new statements that you're saying. So
Right.
thoughts become things. Because
Mm-hmm.
thoughts become things, that is why affirmations work, because you now reprogram your brain. That is
Mm-hmm.
what mindset is. Mindset is focusing on beliefs and patterns and attitudes and emotions that we don't see on the surface. So
Right.
it's all at a subconscious level. That is what reprogramming using affirmations does. So it is not just a surface thing. Because you don't just say affirmation, blah. You have to put
Mm-hmm.
energy behind it. You have
Yeah.
to put
Yeah.
emotion behind it, And of course, for some people, they will feel so uncomfortable because you're like, this is a lie. I don't believe this is true.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I even saying this?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, with everything, consistency is something that you do. And you could, of course, tweak the words as well. You know, you could put instead of saying I am, you could say I choose to believe. So changing
That's
that from I
yeah.
am, yeah. So you could say I choose to believe something that
Mm-hmm.
was probably giving you a hard time, but you know it is the positive affirmation to say. You could change it. I choose to
Mm-hmm.
believe and reaffirm that every single day. And then the things that you believe to be true, these new truths would start to show itself. When it starts to show itself, it means that your value system is going to change. When your value
Mm-hmm.
system change, it means that your behavior is going to change. When your behavior change, it means that the results around you will change. And that is how
Right.
affirmations work in
You
a
you
triangular way.
mentioned well, but you mentioned like the value system a while ago, and you have I've heard you talk about the value system before in like your videos and so forth. Explain what the value system is, because like just from someone who doesn't know, they probably have something else in their head. So what does that mean
Right.
for you?
In a nutshell, a value system is what's most important to you. It's like the guiding system of you. It's your
Mm-hmm.
personal guiding system. So it means that whatever you value, because people respond to things that they value. So whatever you believe to be most important to you, just like where people spend their money, they spend money on things that they value. It
Mm-hmm.
will then impact their behavior. So you start from the identity. You start from what you believe to be true. Who I am. I am. I am this type of person. So whoever you are will impact what you believe, and whatever you believe will impact your value system. Your value
Right.
system will declare what's most important, and then that
Mm-hmm.
will dictate what action steps you take. Those actions and behaviors will result in a particular activity. And of course, if those things are all misaligned, is why we
Mm-hmm.
would be frustrated and annoyed and sad and heartbroken and experience a lot of the negative emotions because they are not congruent. They are incongruent. You believe one thing, you're doing something else, your value system is here.
Right.
But if we get it as linear and as straight as it possibly can, where they all flow beautifully into each other, then the result in terms of your circumstances and your environment would be way less chaotic
Mm-hmm.
because from an identity level, you are aligned. Who Anika
You,
says she is,
mm-hmm.
what Anika believes, what Anika values, what
Mm-hmm.
Anika does shows in her reality.
You know, when I tend to think very visually. So like when you're
Yeah.
explaining, I'm here drawing a diagram in my brain, like
Right.
okay, because you mentioned triangle before. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, like a
identity,
pyramid.
value system, reality, and I was like putting it
Right.
together. But what jumped out at me when you're talking about value system is that from what I would have learned in school, and I think what many people learn in school, not talking about like psychology classes and so forth, but
Right.
value system is usually created mentally by what society tells us. So we create our value system based on what our parents have taught us, what the church tells us, what school tells us. But if your identity is not meshing with the value system, or the value system, what you really
Right.
choose to value, is not necessarily what you're being told to value, it's that can lead to a whole lot of conflict. And what you mentioned,
Exactly.
incongruent. Yeah.
A thousand, like a Nika, that is it in a nutshell. Like if you
Mhm.
reverse engineer it from the quality of your life straight up to who I am as a person, and you realize this is what I say I am, and this is what I say I believe. But my
Mhm.
values, and this is what I value, but I'm doing something else, and I'm feeling something else, and there's a lot of incongruence. Is where the internal conflict comes from, and
Mhm.
mindset work is paying very close attention to all of that and
Mhm.
realizing that okay, I'm having some blockages, I'm having some question marks, I'm feeling one thing, saying something,
Right.
doing something else, and it's not working because a lot of people, if we imagine the pyramid, my camera
Mhm.
pyramid, like we just described with the identity
Right.
starting here and down here is where we have actions. A lot of
Mhm.
people get caught up in the action and environment loop. They just get
Mm,
caught up trying to change. Let me just okay, let me just do more. Let me just move on to this. They
yeah.
actually change from an identity level, or they
Mhm,
start to do things that are aligned with who they are, their core. Then the
mhm.
environment and the actions becomes easier to deal with. The results becomes 1,000% what you want, or at least
Right.
close, because there's not too much internal war. So yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually said this before in like some of my lives within the Island Mom group that I would say maybe for 2 years after creating Island Mom, I got very quiet and kind of withdrew a little bit, let the group kind of function on its own, which is amazing because they take
Right.
care of each other, you know. But for me, I was in that space of reframing and restructuring how I was approaching motherhood because when
Mm.
I became a mother and who I thought I was supposed to be as a mother, it was not aligned with who I really was. And
Wow.
the beauty of Island Mom was founded on the ideal scenario of who I thought my mother was to me. So it's actually really a
Mm.
dedication to my mom. But
Right.
I couldn't line up with it on an identity level. It just wasn't lining up. So I kind of had to take a step back and realize, okay, I'm not my mother. That's for one. That's no, can't reach there.
Right.
I am my own self. You know, I'm not the mom who I thought I would be. I'm not the mom who I expected to be, but I'm willing to be the mother or the best mother that I can be. So like,
Okay.
and of course this is with therapy. This is with the help of
Of
therapy.
course. I'm an
But I'm gonna
advocate for
bring in some of
therapy.
those buzzwords because we use like things like reframing. We use words like changing the narrative, which is usually when somebody says these words, you're like, oh, she's gone to therapy. She's in
Yeah,
therapy. She knows what
I
she's
have.
doing. But let's bring that down a little bit because that's basically just kind of changing the mindset, changing how
Mm-hmm.
you think, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about reframing thoughts. How does that work? How can a mom who's probably struggling in a similar way, how can she probably reframe her thinking towards a growth mindset?
Okay, so in terms of parenting, because as a mommy, there are times I'm like, good God, I'm not doing this. I am not getting this correctly. Is
Yeah.
so that's a perfect example, right? Like that's probably a common line mommies just say, like, Jesus, I'm not doing this great, right? And that is a
Mm-hmm.
negative statement because, of course, when you make a statement like that, it immediately impacts how we feel. And then the way that we feel impacts how we behave, and then it shows off to the children, and then we just find ourselves in this loop for however long, and then it just turns into this mess that's unnecessary, right?
Right.
So that is a perfect example of a negative statement. So when I feel like that, or it should come up, especially during COVID, I'm like, okay, Latina, right now, you may not be feeling the best, but it is okay. You are doing a really good job with what you have right now. And that
Mm-hmm.
there doesn't, I didn't go into anything saying I'm this perfect woman and I'm trying to recreate something just totally separate. But I am way more gentler on what it is I'm saying. And I
Mm-hmm.
looked at it from a different angle. So in this
Mm-hmm.
situation, although I feel as though I'm not doing the best because of the outcome or whatever happened, I changed the story to I am doing the best that I can with what I have right now.
Right.
So that is a example, a live example of reframing, you know. So if
Mm-hmm.
we're like, oh my gosh, why is this so hard? Okay, what how could I look at this with more ease? How could I look at this to be easier? Anything
Mm-hmm.
that we saying, any negative statement that we make, just find an alternative that is the opposite of it. And that is what reframing is in a nutshell, because there are always different perspectives to look at something. There's no actual truth, right?
Right.
Unless you declare that that is the truth. So you find yourself
Mm-hmm.
in a situation, you're seeing some things that not serving you, not serving anybody, it's making you feel terrible. Take a moment to pause. Okay, how
Mm-hmm.
deep breath. How could I look at this from a different angle? Look
Mm-hmm.
at it from a different angle. find that as a new statement and use that instead of why it is so hard or why am I sucking at parenting today? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
In your blog, and I'd encourage anybody to go and read this at truegrowthcaribbean.com. The last blog, in terms of using affirmations during a crisis, you have a list of really great affirmations. So if a mom is like, what am I for do? Where do I start? You literally have a few right there. What
Right.
are some of your go-to affirmations? What are some of Latina's favorite affirmations?
I am good enough just as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am worthy. I am worthy just as I am, even on the days that I don't feel worthy. I am a
Mm-hmm.
good mother. I am a powerhouse of a businesswoman. Those
Mm-hmm.
5 affirmations I say daily. Power woman pose, writing in my journal, probably in passing if I just don't feel as awesome. But yeah, being good
Right.
enough, being worthy, being a good mother, being a powerhouse of a businesswoman, because those are things that I aspire to do and be and feel consistently, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to add in something there that came up. Feelings of being worthy and good enough, right? Those are really deep, 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 deep rooted feelings, right? That usually are the foundation, the negative, not being good enough or not feeling worthy or feeling as though you have something to prove. Those three are usually deep, deep reasons for all the massive negative thoughts and feelings that people have. Follow?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
underneath not being feeling as though you're a good mom, underneath not feeling as though you're doing a good job as a businesswoman, underneath money related situations are usually feelings of not being good enough, feelings of not being worthy, and feelings of feeling as though you have something to prove.
Right.
And the way that a lot of us are set up, we may not have that consistent belief or that consistent flow of energy to believe that we are good enough and worthy enough just as we are. And the good news is that is okay. It is okay if every day you don't feel absolutely good enough. It is okay if every day you
Mm-hmm.
don't feel worthy. And that is why my go-to affirmations are I am worthy just as I am,
Mm-hmm.
even on the days that I don't feel worthy, which is that's like even more heights to just saying I'm worthy, because I'm also
Right.
saying I am worthy even when I don't feel worthy. That
Mm-hmm.
is some deep, deep healing, deep self discovery, but I feel like it's definitely an affirmation that people should start using moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. Yeah.
Work. But
Yeah.
my son is here lingering. You want to come and
Yeah.
say hi? Because he's probably been standing at the door for a solid 5 minutes. You want to come? Yeah, just say hi quick.
Hello.
And the funny thing is, like, that comes to the next question because you're talking about affirmations and Seth. I don't know if he's gonna want to say them, but he actually says affirmations every night, and he's been saying them since I don't know, like 100 days. Wait, is that a gajillion? A gajillion days, maybe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Maybe. That's really correct. Okay, but you're not supposed to be in here though. Just saying. Cool. But that comes to the next question in terms of
I lock
steps
my door.
steps to like help the kids to develop their own growth mindset. What
Mhm.
would you recommend?
Firstly, kids see us as examples, right? They model us.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely we need to be that example. So COVID is a hard time right now. It makes no sense. It's not okay. Well, it is, but it's also not okay for us to just mope around all day and complain about the situation and feel sad and literally like be super negative all day and make it seem as though life is coming to an absolute end during this time, because the kids are going to see that, they are going to hear that, they are going to see that things are when things are difficult, we just need to completely shut down. right? So we need to be an example. That is definitely number one. Number two, which is what you just said, that you mentioned with your son, affirmations, right?
Mm,
So you can even let them choose it themselves, what nice words you want to say. I am brave, I am beautiful, I am
yeah.
handsome, I am intelligent, and you make it fun, you know,
Mm,
and you do it during times when, as you said, you're going to put him to bed. I do mine with my daughter. Well, when there was school, on our way to school, I would do it now when I'm combing her hair. So when we're combing her
right.
hair, I would say affirmations. Another thing is gratitude. Having children express gratitude. So you say, hey son, what really fun and exciting thing happened today? Or what made you happy today? What made you
Mhm.
feel good today? And they list it out, and then you ask them when they're finished, so how do you feel? I feel happy. I feel great, mommy. I feel really good. And just with you doing that, that is you putting them on an emotional place, on a state of being, for them to
Mhm.
just be even more abundant than they already are. Right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
practices of gratitude, affirmations, being an example. When they make mistakes, of course, when we are frustrated, it's very easy to just go ballistic.
Mhm.
But when they make a mistake, baby, is okay. It's okay. This is fine. You're going to be okay. We're just going to do better next time. You could just practice a little more. Just put in those elements that showcase that it is okay to make a mistake. You're not going to die. The world is not going to come to an end. You're going to be okay. And we could
Mhm.
get better. That is a big element in terms of helping kids too, because sometimes when we are throwing tantrums about them making a mistake, it plays on them where they feel as though, well, if I make a mistake, that's it. It can't fix,
Right.
right? So
Right.
definitely how we deal with them when it comes to making mistakes. And then the relationships with cousins and siblings and family members, when they end up in situations where they feel hurt, their emotions are interfered with, or they don't feel okay, you have a conversation with them. You also express, well, John or Jane, whatever they did, it wasn't okay, and I know it made you feel a type of way, but we
Mhm.
have no control over what they did. That's something
Right.
that I tell my daughter all the time. We have no control over what other people do. We have control over what we do and how
Yeah.
we respond to it.
And how we
You
react to
know,
it. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. And then a big one too would be for us as parents to say sorry, and for us
Mhm.
to acknowledge when we fall short with them, when we weren't the best mom today or the best
Yeah.
dad. And we say, babe, I'm sorry. I really know I made a promise to you and we didn't pull through today. I am
Mhm.
sorry. I am going to do better.
Right. Yeah.
So those are elements I use very, very often, and it does take. It is a new condition because, of course, old school parenting wasn't,
Yeah.
you know.
Apologize to your picnic. No. It's true though. We actually had this a
You know?
big conversation about this in Island Mom, like maybe a week ago, where like
Really?
that the best way is to apologize to your kids, or it's necessary for you to say sorry. And I think it came up in one of our lives as well too. The
Yeah.
power of apologizing. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I actually empowered the kids to also call us out when we're wrong too, respectfully, because I'm still a Caribbean
Yes.
immigrant. Oh. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
necessary because we're not perfect either. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
apologize to the stepdaughter this evening because I did have a little blow up. I mean, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
And I mean,
necessary.
it does take that mindset shift. So we just talk about Caribbean
Mhm.
moms, right? That whole thing, there's a mindset where we don't apologize. We don't
Mhm.
say that I'm trying to do better, or
Mhm.
like if they make a mistake, you literally go ballistic. Like how you can do something like that, why you throw down the entire whole pot of God knows, like those things are not things we do. We usually just lose
Right.
it, but at least that's
Mhm.
how we were grown, right? That's how we were grown. I think
Mhm.
moms now in our age group, we have a little more a different perspective in terms of how to deal with it. Plus, these babies are coming out very different too, Doanika. These
Yeah,
babies, calling you out. These babies telling
Yes.
you that that's okay. Yeah.
I remember like at the beginning of COVID, the 6-year-old turned to me and said, "Mom, you need to calm down. You need to take a few breaths and calm down." At that point, what was I supposed to do? Okay, okay, okay.
Exactly. My daughter does this. Mommy, you need to do this. And put up the pause, the two hands for meditation. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, yeah, you're right. I need to do that. So
But the
yeah,
modeling of the behavior, what you just said is important too, because even
it
Seth has
is.
said to me, "Okay, mommy, let's meditate." And he's guided me through like what felt like maybe a 2-minute meditation.
Right.
But he sees me meditate. So when
Of
he knows that
course.
I'm stressed, or he'll like, "Okay, close your eyes. You're on a cloud," and he makes up. But I mean, modeling. So,
Yeah.
so, so put that together for me, like the 1, 2, 3, the 5 steps that you
Right.
just mentioned again.
So modeling, so we need to be in that space where we are showing them that we have a growth mindset, or we have a mindset, a positive mindset to deal with things when it comes our way. Practices of gratitude with them, practices of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
What is the other thing I said? I said when they make mistakes, we let them know that is perfectly okay. They could
Mm-hmm.
learn, they could practice. The world is not coming to end. When it is they are in situations with other family members or cousins or siblings that hurt their feelings, and they just feel as though they wish that they want, and of course they do a lot as kids. They would blame others, right? We have to put them in a space for us to realize, okay, hey, and I mean, communication is key in all of this with these little ones, right? With kids
Right.
and babe, we have no, what he or she did is really not okay. How you feel, I understand how you feel. I know it hurts. I know it's etc. What we could do to make it better, because we
Mm-hmm.
only have control over ourselves. So those type of conversations, and then the bonus would have been for us to apologize as well and let them
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, I'm going to be better. I am sorry. This is going to be okay. This is going to change, etc. Guess that would fall under the modeling element too. Yeah.
Ah, thank you so much, Latino. I
Thank
want
you for
to
having me.
I want to show this message or this comment from Tina Jamaican that she looks
Hi,
forward to
Tina.
the mom
Tina.
show. And I want to thank you so much, Latina, for joining us tonight. This has been a nice culmination of conversations that we've been having over the last few weeks, and everything has tied in so nicely together. I would say
Wow.
everything for a reason, because we were supposed to have Ayana Miguel, and let me just show that right now. We're supposed to have Ayana Miguel like about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but
Right.
for whatever reason we weren't able to coordinate, and now we're gonna be having her next week Tuesday. And
Right.
it's all about how conflict helps you to grow, and it's perfect coming out of this
Yeah.
conversation, I would have to say, because we're talking
Yeah.
about that pyramid, and when
Right.
things aren't meshing, and the mental
Right. Right.
incongruence and all those big words. But it's a real deal. So I mean, coming out
It is.
of our conversation tonight, I think next week will be the icing on the cake. But I have to thank you so
Yeah.
much, Latina, for joining us on the Mom Show and bringing you in officially into the Island Mom community.
I am so glad to be here. It was a major pleasure. Thank you, Anika, for having me.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who tunes in and or dedicated
Mhm.
followers, and to the Island Mom community members, and of course to Brunswick. I want to thank everyone. So we will be back next week, Tuesday, with Ayana Miguel. And thank you once again to Latina. Oh, waving from Florida. Let's wave.
Hi, Tina.
Take care, Tina. Hope we see you next week, Tuesday. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much again, Latina.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye.